Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mitch, and today we are going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a simple volume options menu for your game. Now, first let's go over what we have in the scene here. First of all, we have our orthographic camera. Now you can do this with a regular camera, but I think orthographic cameras are better for menus because they are 2D. And then next here we have the mute the thing. This is just a text descriptor thing, just so you know what this box here is. And this box is the backing for the mute. And when we're gonna make it so whenever you whenever you click this box, a dot will appear. Right now we have it, if you can see where my mouse is here, the dot has a model renderer, but it's set to a model that's named nothing, and there is nothing in the model. And you'll see why we have it like this in a second, whenever I do the scripting. But then down here what we're going to do is two different sliders. One is going to be for music volume, and then the other is going to be for sound effects. And so each of these sliders has three parts. One is the backing, this big white thing. Next here we have our actual slider. And then over here it's a blank game object that we're using to calculate, and that is called low point, and that's at the other end of the slider. So that, and it's the same thing down here, they just have different names. So that is everything that's in the scene, and then we're going to put this all in one script, and the script will be available for download in the description if you don't want to do it yourself. But I would suggest using this tutorial as a way to help learn how to actually code. So I would say try and code along with me, or try and watch this and then use the knowledge you've gained from the tutorial to code it yourself. But either way, the script will be available for download in the description. Okay, so here's our script. First things first, we want to make two global variables. So let's call this volume music. Here, let's volume music equals nil. We're setting that to nil. And volume SFX, which would be for sound effects, and that will also be set to nil first. And what happens is the script will change that nil, and what you're going to do is you're going to add these global variables to any script that plays sound effects or any script that plays music. And these numbers, they'll be numbers. They will be changed by this script, and then because they're a global variable, they will be transferred throughout your whole game, so you don't have to worry about doing some weird thing. I don't even know what you would do otherwise. So there's our two global variables. Now, next thing we want to do is let's see here, let's define the sliders. So self.sliders equals, this is going to be a table, and what's nice is this is going to make it easy for us to cut down on line numbers. By using a table, we can also use a for do function for the number of sliders that we have, and that makes it a lot easier and less time consuming to code this. So we're going to find game object slider SFX. Actually, let's go slider first, and then we'll do slider SFX. So cs.find object slider SFX, and then end the table. Now, if I am thinking correctly here, what we want to do is let's see here. We want to calculate the hit position on the slider back. So let's do that. So slider backs equals, this is also going to be a table, cs.find game object slider back. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And cs.find game object slider back SFX, and end the table. Let's see here. Now what we want to do is define the mute button. So self.mute equals cs.find game object, and that is called mute back. Mute back. And I think that's everything we need defining game object wise. So let's move on to the update. Let's create our, what we're gonna do is get the mouse position. So mouse pause equals cs.input dot get mouse position, and then what we're going to do is create a array from the mouse. So local myArray, let's call it, equals array, no, let's do this, self.game object dot camera create array mouse pause. Okay, so what this is doing is we're creating an array in our game object from our camera. So creating the array at the mouse position. Actually, it might be different with orthographic in terms of, yeah, actually, you know what? Never mind. Okay, now we want to do our for do thing. Actually, no. Hold up. My bad. Let's see here. Let's do this. Yeah, let's actually, yeah. For I equals 1. So starting at 1, and then number of self.sliders. So it's doing this function for the number of sliders. So it's like, it's hard to explain, but let's just say it's going through like twice. I don't know how to explain it, but essentially this is what we just do one we need one block of code for two different sliders, I guess would be how it goes, or how I would explain it. So we've got for I equals 1 number of self.sliders do, and then we want to do an if. So if myArray intersects model renderer, let's see here, self.sliders I.model renderer, And what we're doing here is we're saying if the ray intersects the slider that the function is covering, so that's what the I here is. If it's intersecting its model renderer, then we do our stuff here. So let's create a local variable called hit pause, and then that equals, oh shoot, I can't even remember what it is. Let's check the wiki real quick. Let's see here, home wiki, and let's get back to here. You won't be able to see this, but one sec. Scripting reference, and we're going to go to the ray class. Can never remember this calculation. Okay, it's ray position, ray direction times distance. Ah, okay, alright. Equals, so actually let's create another variable. Oh, extender. Oh, thanks, man. Shouts out, extender. Anyways, let's see here. Let's create another local variable. One sec. Local distance equals my ray intersects. This is going to be intersecting our slider back. So my ray colon intersects model renderer, and that would be self dot slider backs I dot model renderer. So you might be wondering, why did I do slider backs I? And that's because I is not going through the table. It's going, I is a number, and essentially this here is a number as well. So it's saying do this function twice every update, I believe. So that means that when I equals 1, it's checking the first slider and the first slider back, and when I is 2, it's checking the second slider and the other slider back. So if you were wondering why I could do that, that is why. Okay, so next is our hit pause, and that would be my ray dot position, I believe, plus my ray dot direction times my ray dot, or no, distance. I believe that is the correct, yeah, my ray dot, okay, yeah, yep, that's correct. Then what we want to do is say, actually, let's all, no, that's fine. So let's, oh shoot, let's say if input dot is button down fire, which is our left mouse button, then we are going to take our slider and do this. So so let's see here, self dot sliders I dot transform set position, and then actually let's get all of the positions here. So for I equals 1, number self dot sliders do. And what I'm doing up in the awake function here is doing, this is going to go through one time and get the position of actually hold on, no, I might want to do those each separately. Let me think about this for a sec. yeah, let's actually do that separately. So let's see here. Self dot slide pause 1 equals self dot sliders 1 dot transform get position, and self dot slide pause 2 equals self dot sliders 2 dot transform get position. So that's getting the position of them when they start out, so that we can do stuff. So let's see here, vector 3 new. So we're going back down here. So we're setting the position as a new vector 3. Now if we look here, Z is blue and Y is green, and red is what we're going to be controlling, so that's X. So that would be hit pause dot X, and then we want to do self dot slide pause. Oh, hold up. Oh, let's do this. Let's make another table. So slide pause equals table, and then let's just do this. That is a better idea. Okay, so let's just reroute that to down there, because I'm nitpicky like that. Okay, so self.slide pause I. There we go. Self slide pause I dot Y, self.slide pause I dot Z. There we go. That, I believe, should work. Okay, now what we want to do is clamp hit pause. So or we want to get we want to how am I gonna explain? We want to oh gosh, I don't even know what I'm trying to explain here. But we want to clamp hit pause dot X. But yeah, so actually let's do this. Local so pause equals self dot sliders I dot transform. Actually, you know what? No, this should be a global, or not a global, a local up here. Okay, so dot transform get position, and then we want to clamp pause. So what we're going to do is math dot clamp pause. So our actual pause actually dot X. So we're going to clamp pause dot X to 2 and -2. So here's what we're clamping. Here's our max and here's our minimum right there. And that should be it for the slider. Let me just check here. You won't be able to see this. No, it's not working. Oh wait, I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. We actually have to put the script in the camera. I do that way too often. Don't be like me. Now let's give it a shot. Hopefully there's no errors. There are errors. Okay, so variable input is not declared. Oh, it should be cs.input. Where did I put this? Ah, cs. There. Now it should work. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, but it's not clamping. Okay. So let's try this. Let's try clamping hit pause dot x. So let's try that and then see if that works. Oh, so now it's saying it's... Oh, did I capitalize it? I did. That should be lowercase h. Let's try it again. No, it's still allowing me to go outside. Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's try math.clamp. Let's try putting it in there. 2, -2. And then let's just comment that out for a sec and give that a try. Is it min then max? Let's give min and then max a try. Ah, there we go. Yep, that works. Okay. Okay, now that we have it working, let's delete the commented out thing. So, scratch what I said before about the order here. It goes minimum then maximum, not maximum then minimum. So let's go through this whole line real quick. So we're setting the slider's position to a vector 3 of our clamped hit position, our original position, our original Y position, and our original Z position, so that it only slides on our x-axis. So now what we want to do is this. That's a good one. Let's see here. Self dot. One more thing we have to define that I forgot. Self dot low point equals a table of cs dot find game object low point and cs dot find game object low point sfx. I believe that's what they're named. Low point, and that should be low point sfx. Okay, so low point sfx. Okay, now that we have that defined, let's do a let's do this. So we're doing another for. Actually, no, we don't even have to do that. Let's make actually a table of volume things, and then what we're gonna do is set the table volume stuff to our global volumes. So equals so local volumes equals nil and nil, I believe is what we can do. And then what we can do now is in our for do function go out of the if my ray intersects thing, and what we're gonna do now is get a couple vector 3 distances. So let's actually define them up here. Local dist norm. So our normal distance equals vector 3 dot distance, and then let's see here. I think we can dot transform here. So dot transform get position and dot transform get position. Okay, so what we can do now is vector 3 distance of pos and self dot volumes I. So that's saying that we're getting the distance between our slider's position and the position of our low point. Oh wait, that shouldn't be volumes I, that should be low points I. So we're getting the position of our low points of the specific, like which slider it is. You know, I already explained the whole I thing. So now what we want is let's see, distance. So our distance is going to be, we want it to be over 1, or we want it to be like between 1. So we already got, oh sick, okay. So our original distance, so if we look at it, our original distance, here we have it at 2 and our low point is at -2. So what we're going to do is divide that distance by 4, because that's the amount of distance it can travel in total. So what we can do is, so let's see here. So self dot volumes I equals dist. So let's actually just change that to dist divided by 4. Yeah. Now, so now that we have that, what we can do is this. We can go outside of our for function and do this. So volume music equals self dot volumes 1 and volume sfx equals self dot volumes 2. So whenever I is 2, it's calculating the distance between the music volume slider and its low point, and then when it's 2, it's calculating the sound effects slider and its low point, and then it's throwing them, it's updating this table right here, is essentially what we're doing. Now what we can do is this. So let's do another if here. So if my ray, this is going to be for our mute button. So if my ray intersects model renderer self dot mute dot model renderer, then what we want to do is if cs dot input dot was button just pressed fire, then actually we could actually, yeah, let's actually just, I just said actually way too many times. Let's do this. We don't even need that. So then what we can do now is set our position of self.sliders. So self.sliders 1 dot transform set position vector 3 new so that would be -2 self.slide pause 1 dot y and self.slide pause 1 dot z. So that's setting the music slider to where it would be 0, and self.sliders 2 dot transform set position of a vector 3 new -2 self.slide pause 2 dot y and self.slide pause 2 dot z. So now what we want to do is actually let's change this to self. Nah. Let's actually just, let's do this else, and then let's copy these and paste them, and then instead of having a vector 3 new, what we can just do is self.slide pause 1 and self.slide pause 2. So let's go over what we did here. So essentially, I have to do the whole model renderer thing in a sec. But so we're setting the slider, the actual slider, to its 0 or its -2 point, which is or -2 on the x-axis, which is going to be where the volume is at 0, and then we're keeping it at its original y position and its original z position because we don't need to change those. Now let's do the model renderer thing. So let's define it up in the awake first. So self.mute model, or mute dot, actually let's make it, is cs.find game object. I believe it's, is it mute dot or is it just dot? Okay, yeah, it's just dot. Dot, and then self.mute dot model renderer set model. So we're setting the model of our model renderer to CraftStudio.find game object, and then mine happens to be named nothing. Or oh, that should not be find game object. That should be find asset. So actually that shouldn't be. Nothing goes down in the else. It should be. Is it dot? Let's check what it's called. Oh, it is called check dot. So, oops, check dot. And then what we can do is change it to here as nothing. Okay, now I believe, let me just run the game or the thing real quick. Oh, I got line 20. Now why is that? low points. Why is that? What? Oh, transform. That, I think, is what our problem was. Let's give it another shot. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do this. Yeah, I was thinking correctly. So, if that, and then let's tab this in real quick, and actually our else tab and take it out is going to be there, I believe. No, that's not working. Oh, wait, you know what? Let's do this. Let's cut this out. Hold up. Let's just paste it down here in a comment just for a second. Okay. So find us at check. If it's okay, so let's do this. And nope. Okay, we're gonna do another if. If self dot mute dot model renderer get model equals that, and let's change that to nothing. Then we are going to actually hold up. That should be like that. Okay, so CS stuff. Okay, then let's paste that again. Okay, now we're making an else and pasting that and making it nothing. And then I believe we can take this, if it equals nothing, then we can put that there like that, and then I believe we can do this and then change it to a slide pause 1, and then self dot slide pause 2. Let's give that a try. What's the error? 33. Oh, did I forget it then? Oh yeah, that should be. Huh. Interesting. Ah, there we go. Okay, that works. Yeah. Okay, that works. Now let's just take those comments out. Now, so we have everything working, and actually this should be all the way at the bottom, like that. So now that we have all of our functional stuff working, we can add our music. So let's just why don't we do that in another script so that you can see how this works. So let's go to scripts here, slider tutorial, music script tutorial. Okay, so let's create our music instance here. So self dot, oh wait, first thing actually is we want to define our variables. So volume music equals nil. That should not be a double. Volume music equals nil, and volume sfx equals nil. So now let's define our music here. So self dot music equals cs dot find asset. Let's find, I know I have a music file in here. Oh, it's called music. Music. And then self dot sfx equals cs dot find asset something. I do not. Let me load in a sound effect real quick. Let me see if I have any sound effects. Let's call it SFX. Let's see here. I'm going to open up something real quick. Actually, no, it might be assets. Hold up, fail noise. No. Siren. What? No. Hold up, I'm trying to find a good sound file here. Okay, let's just do that. So, tick. So this is going to be our sound file. So it is called SFX. Sound and sound, and then let's create an instance. So create instance and create instance. Now let's see here. We might want to, let me check the wiki real quick for our sound functions, because I'm not sure if I remember them correctly. So our sound instance to play, so self.music play, and then I believe we can set loop to true. So we want to self.music set loop true. Okay. Now essentially I'm not going to make it so that it plays the sound effects sound, but I will show you how to change its volume. And essentially in your sound control script, you'll see. But in your sound control script, you're going to set all of your sound effects to volume SFX, and then all of your music to volume music. So what we're going to do is, I believe there's a set volume. Yes, okay. So self.music set volume, and then we're setting it to volume music, and then self.sfx set volume SFX. So this is all we have to do essentially for our music script. Obviously, if you're doing, or not our music script, but like our sound script, music, whatever you want to call it. But if you're doing a bunch of stuff with like sound effects and stuff, obviously it's going to be longer, but this is just basic. So setting our music volume to the volume with our global music volume number thing, and then here our sound effects volume. So let's just add this script. No, not that. Add the music script in here and see if it works. Yes, it does. Okay, so everything works. So that is our whole tutorial. I will show you in a sec. I'll show you in game what it'll look like. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. And guys, one quick thing I just noticed, you should actually have set loop before you play the sound. I completely forgot about that, so make sure you change that. Okay, now we are in game, and I can show you what goes on when you do stuff. So, as you can tell, here is our music volume, and as I slide it down, it gets quieter. And then this doesn't do anything, but if you had sound effects, it would change the sound of the sound effects. Now when I click on this right here, it mutes everything, so as you can tell, it sets those to their -2 spot, and when you click it again, it will uncheck them. But whenever you mute, it always sets it back to its first position. You can change that, but that's not really a big deal. It just takes more code, and I didn't feel like thinking about it, so oh well. But yeah, this is how it works, or this is showing you that it works, I guess. So it works. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope it was helpful. If you did enjoy, please give it a like, or if it helped you a lot, please give it a like. Once again, the scripts used will be available for download in the description, so you can import them into your project. And if you're new around here, please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below if you need clarification on anything. And I will see you guys later.